yeah, 8:39. Obviously, you could hear the frustration that we have. Really, nothing personal. Just trying to get info out to people who want and need it. And that's always a challenge. I mean, on any given day. But then there are those who have no issue with coming out and providing, details, the background, whatever pertinent and relevant information that is to be had and disseminated. One of those is our friend Mark Scott at the Guam Guard, whether it was the Cookie Gate thing or, the issues with the anonymous letters with the General Agagi or just, good news stuff. This guy has never turned us down to come on the show, which is, vital in his role as a public information and affairs officer with the Guam Guard. So, Mark, thank you for that.
Well, thank you too, Chris. And that's not to say I don't have gray hair coming out too. Like you.
I think Sabrina gave you a few of those. So
yeah, our role here on the island is to serve, right? So what better way to serve than to just be honest about it, period.
Amen, brother. Right on. Thank you for your service.
Hua.
Hua, was it?
Is it
Hua.
Hua?
It's not.
Hua?
It's not. She's like Hua. No, it's not like that.
No, it's not. It's not Dr. Hoa. It's Hua.
Excuse me, Hua.
Wait, Mark. May I ask, Cap? Did you go to infantry school? Speaking of Hua.
No, I didn't. So when I branched officer, Jason, I went to Signal School. Signal is a communication school. We learn about radios, signal, networking, computer, cyber, stuff like that.
Yep,
Stuff
Signal
for
Corps.
smart people.
Yep.
Somehow, I don't know how they lumped me in with all those smart people.
Must have been some kind of administrative error.
Yes.
Right? It's 8:41. Mark, so I was texting you last night about this expanded vaccination category. I mean, expanded might even be an understatement because it was 40 and above, and just overnight it went to 16 and above. And obviously, people of Guam, they want the vaccine. The demand is high. So what are you guys anticipating this morning on the first day that people above the age of 16 can get vaccinated?
Yeah, Chris. So, we appreciate the governor taking an aggressive stance. It's a great idea to try to get as many vaccines in arms as possible. We need to get our island back to normalcy. It's been long enough, and we like it. So let's go. It might see a little bit more crowds today at the field house, starting today. There might be a little expectation for some longer wait times. But hey, that's all in the name of, working all together with all of our partners and the people of Guam to get it done. So you talk a little bit about expectation management. There might be anywhere from 50,000 or more people who became eligible overnight. And that's a reality, right? It's a good reality that we're able to get everyone. Another reality might be that the wait times are a little bit longer. It's possible, right? So if we see 50,000 walk-ins at the opening bell, hey, let's manage those expectations. Bring some snacks, bring some water, bring your phone charger and stuff like that. But I think we're gonna be okay, Chris. Everything that we've seen so far shows us that the people understand the process of the clinic. We haven't seen the long lines at the opening bell. We've seen a lot of patient folks who understand that we're doing the best we can. So we're just gonna continue that and work even harder and do whatever it takes to liberate Guam.
Okay, for those people who may not understand or just have or not even know about the whole Eventbrite process, what's the procedure for walk-ins to the OG Cabo Fieldhouse vaccination clinic?
Yeah, thanks for that, Chris. We try to encourage the Eventbrite appointment process first. It has a way of metering out the crowd so that people don't all come in lumps at common times. The link for that is tinyurl.com/vaccinate Guam or vaccinate GU MAR 23 to 27. So there's a graphic like this that went around. It was released in the JIC release last night. I'm sure you guys are good enough to help us publish it. And that's one of the best ways to make sure you get in smoothly is with an appointment. Now, if you can't make an appointment for whatever reason, if a day gets sold out or you don't have access to the internet, that's fine. We still do accept walk-ins at a limited rate. We say about 15 per hour, and we can stretch that a little bit more if we have to. So don't be afraid to come and walk in. Just as a reminder, we do encourage folks not to line up so early because it does create delays when we open, which today is going to be at 11 a.m.
And so we do have our scan and plan. You'll see the little banner on your screen for those of you who are watching on Facebook. You can scan that QR code, and it should take you to the link back to our website, where you will find the information and on registration for the vaccination clinics. But Mark, I wanted to ask, because the schedule has been out and people have been able to register. I didn't see that it was sold out for this week, right? So there's plenty of openings for people to get online, and that is what is really recommended, so that you guys are able to keep track, right?
Yeah, that's right, Bree. It helps us keep track. It helps us know what to expect. And it also helps the crowd be more evenly distributed throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. Are people utilizing it? I mean,
yes. So, like you said, we haven't sold out, but starting this last week, we expanded the appointments per hour. I think this week we're at like 245 per hour, whereas in previous weeks it was a little bit less. So there's another thing too, where the private clinics are now offering some vaccines too. So we're seeing some folks go to their private clinics. There's the community-based clinics from public health and the homebound program as well. Yeah, we're not seeing it sell out as much because of those things.
And that might be the reason why they dropped it down, all the way down to 16.
Yeah, it could very well be. And I know the governor is really eager to get our island back to some kind of normalcy. Mm-hmm. And like I said, her aggressive stance in doing this is welcome. Let's get it on,
Let's get it on.
There's been talks about so GHRA, they've mentioned the possibility of having vaccination clinics, possibly even in Tumon, so it's more accessible. Is that something that the Guard would be involved in, or is that strictly public health?
Well, we work under the umbrella of public health. So as GHRA makes those types of suggestions, it'll go up to public health's decision to ask us for help if it's needed. It may or may not be needed. But the bottom line is this, that's the magic of this island, is how we all work together. We're well ahead of almost every other state and territory because of ideas like that, where a GHRA can work together with public health and the Guard to just make it happen, and not compete, be all on the same page, and do the right thing for the benefit of the people.
Mm-hmm. So has the ask been made? Are you aware?
I haven't heard anything yet, no.
Okay.
Mark, where are we tracking, if you know, and are you able to speak on the supply and inventory of vaccines?
Yeah, I saw something in the JIC release last night, Chris. I think it's in there, although I didn't memorize it. Yeah, I didn't memorize it offhand, but it's in there. I know what we vaccinated so far is like 70,000 some total doses with 30,000 complete. And that number of our remaining stock is in there too.
Yeah, it's 16,550.
Right, with some more on the way, which I heard this morning. So yeah, I didn't commit that to memory, but it's in there. Mm-hmm. And so there's another thing too about the vaccine supply. I know last month we had a couple of days at the end of the month where the island ran out, and there was a little bit of adjustment because people who had already made their appointments had to, find another time to come in later. But all in all, I want to say that that's a good thing, that we use and finish the supply that we're given, because it shows Operation Warp Speed that we need more. There's states and territories out there who haven't finished their supply that they were given for the month. And what that does is it throttles their supply for the next month. I know it may be a short period inconvenience for us to have been out for a few days, but it sends the right message that, hey, we're doing the right thing. We're getting our people vaccinated. We're leading the way with the states and territories, so give us more.
Is there any discussion about changing the times of the vaccination clinic? Because a lot of people are working between 11 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. And I think even before it was up to, wasn't it 7:30? Yeah. Is there any talks
Yeah,
about
you're
changing
right.
the time so it's kind of more accessible for people who are working throughout
Yeah.
the day, and there
Yeah.
won't be that need to take administrative leave or
Yeah.
for the private sector?
It's the people's vaccine.
That's right. And that's a great question. So when we were at the older age bracket or the wiser age bracket, we didn't see a lot of folks coming in later
Sorry.
in the day, right? But now that we're going into the active workforce age group, it's going to be a conversation that we're having. There was a lot of talk last night about how to adjust for the 16 plus, things like changing the hours, things like expanded shifts, things like looking at the possibility of food trucks, coming in, accommodating folks who might get hungry if there are longer wait times. So yes, these are all the kind of things we're talking about, improving as we go. It's a great point, Bree.
But you all are anticipating a rush.
Yeah, I mean, it's natural, right? If there's 50,000 more people who are eligible overnight, it kind of follows logically that there's bound to be longer lines, longer wait times, more of a crowd. With your guys' help, helping us manage some of those expectations, we don't really foresee it to be too much of a problem. Seeing as how our community has had things in our past where we've had to wait in lines, just had to kind of deal and help each other out, look out for each other, and stay safe. It should be nothing new. We're not expecting any issues.
But it's still the walk-in. I think it was like 15 per hour, right?
That's
Or are
right,
you-
Bree, which is about 1 every 4 minutes, and we've been able to overperform that number, to be honest with you. Bree, there's a phrase that says it's better to under-promise and overperform than to overpromise and underperform. So can we do more than 15 per hour? Yes, we can. But God forbid we overpromise and don't, meet that number. That's what we want to avoid.
Well, I read it earlier this morning for those that are 16 and older, what they need to know, what their parents need to know before they head over to the vaccination clinic. And if you could kind of reiterate what is required.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. And I'm going to just read because it's called, I got my Cliff's notes here. So for individuals who are minors, and that's 16, 17 years old, minors may only receive the Pfizer, right? As Moderna and Johnson & Johnson aren't recommended for folks below 18. Minors must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian and provide government-issued identification to validate their age. So if you're below 18, show up with your legal guardian, mom or dad, bring some kind of ID that shows your age, and you should have no problem getting your Pfizer dose, mom.
And what about other vaccinations, right? That because GDOE, they were holding these vaccination clinics in just the last couple of weeks. Would they still be eligible to get the Pfizer vaccine, or is it the same
Yes,
thing?
these guidelines come from public health, and we follow them. Public health gets them from CDC and all these other sources well above us. So I don't see any reason why GDOE or the private clinics wouldn't also follow that same guidance, Bree. But I can speak to the UOG clinic, the National Guard operating it, that those are the guidelines passed down from public health that we will follow.
Okay, so let me just read it out. These are the pre-screening eligibility for vaccinations. In order to take the COVID-19 vaccine, you must meet the following pre-screening eligibility criteria. You must not currently be infected with COVID-19 or previously exposed within the last 14 days, and you must not have received any other vaccine, such as the flu shot, in the last 14 days. So just so these teenagers, anyone 16 to 40 that are now eligible, make sure, again, if you've received any other vaccine, such as the flu shot, in the past 2 weeks, you would not be eligible at this point. You'd have to wait.
Thanks for that, Bree.
Yeah. Anything else that people need to know?
Well, every time I'm given this chance, Bree, I'd like to say thank you. Of course, to our partners, UOG, Public Health, AmeriCorps, and to the people of Guam. Troops and soldiers out there doing good work. We thank you all for your support, and let's continue to liberate Guam. Thank you guys, too, for helping us inform the people and pass the word. We appreciate you.
And thank you and the guard. I've been to that vaccination clinic at UOG, and it was so smooth.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what we like to do. On behalf of the command group, Estragagi, and all the troops on the ground, thank you guys so much.
All right. Take care, Mark. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark. All right, 8:55. We'll take a really quick break and let's get ready to go behind bars with Major Anton Ogun from the Department of Corrections. That's coming up next, right here on The Link. Good morning.